Welcome to Scotland. A soft rain falls gently across ancient valleys. The haunting sound of bagpipes drifts through cobbled streets. The dark, still waters of the lochs mirror endless skies above. A place of breathtaking landscapes where time seems to move to the rhythm of the Atlantic tides, where more than 790 islands rise from deep blue waters, and Gaelic still echoes like an ancient song from the soul of the earth. But let's start at the beginning. Scotland stretches like a geological masterpiece above England, divided into 3 distinct regions, each one telling a chapter of Earth's own story. To the north, the Highlands guard rocks that date back 3 billion years, ancient witnesses to a planet in its infancy. The central belt below them hides veins of coal and iron, precious resources that once fueled the engines of the Industrial Revolution. And to the south, the southern uplands rise like rolling waves of green, a serene expanse painted in soft strokes of emerald. In this land, nature has carved 2 utterly different coasts. To the east, the shoreline is gentle, inviting, lined with long stretches of golden beach meeting the North Sea. But the west, it's wild, dramatic, jagged cliffs and deep sea lochs gouged by glaciers, scars left by the gods themselves. Even the climate mirrors this duality. The west, warmed by the Atlantic current, is wrapped in constant mist and rain, while the east often enjoys clearer skies and brighter days, as if 2 different spirits share one sky. Across this stunning landscape live 5.5 million people, most of whom are centred in the central belt between Edinburgh and Glasgow. The Highlands, which make up nearly 2/3 of Scotland's land, remain among the most sparsely populated regions in all of Europe, a vast silence where the wind carries the whispers of old legends. This sparse population extends across the more than 790 islands scattered through Scottish waters. Only about 90 are inhabited, but each one is its own world with unique traditions and rhythms of life. Skye, Mull, Arran, the Orkneys, and the Outer Hebrides. These islands are not just locations, they are living testaments to Scotland's cultural heritage. In many of them, Scottish Gaelic still weaves through daily life, preserving a vital link to identity and ancestry. Scotland also holds 90% of the UK's fresh water thanks to its more than 30,000 lochs, each one a mirror to stormy skies and mountain silhouettes. Loch Lomond is the largest by surface area, while Loch Ness holds the greatest volume of fresh water, and perhaps a few secrets of its own. These iconic patterns, now symbols of identity and honour, once served a practical purpose for Highland shepherds, kilts that doubled as cloaks for warmth and shelter among the moors. Scotland is not just a country, it's an entire world. A land where stories are told by mountains, by lochs, by weathered stones and swirling spirits of the past. And now, it's time to explore its most unforgettable places. Isle of Skye, where myths touch the sea. Where Scotland meets the wild Atlantic, the Isle of Skye rises like a dream from Celtic myth. The largest of the Inner Hebrides, Skye is a land of jagged mountains and shattered coastlines, raw, untamed, unforgettable. As you journey west toward Neist Point, the wind seems to whisper stories from another time. Here, the cliffs plunge dramatically into the ocean, and a solitary white lighthouse, standing since 1909, keeps silent watch over the waves and nesting seabirds. There's the Old Man of Storr, towering stone spires that stretch skyward like the fingers of ancient giants, and the fairy pools, crystal-clear waterfalls tumbling through the rocks forming enchanted pools where, legends say, fairies still come to bathe. Every glen holds a hidden loch, a ruined castle, or a sky that shifts from storm to sunshine in minutes. Skye isn't just a destination, it's a feeling. One that stays with you long after you've gone. Edinburgh. The story in stone Edinburgh, Scotland's capital, is a city that stuns at first sight. Built on 7 volcanic hills, it's a place where every street corner holds a story. The city divides into 2 halves, each a different era frozen in stone. The medieval old town, crowned by its castle perched on a volcanic rock, and the elegant new town, built in the 18th century, its streets laid out with perfect symmetry and Georgian grace. The Royal Mile is Edinburgh's most iconic street. It stretches from the towering castle to Holyrood House Palace, 1 kilometre, paved with cobblestones and centuries of history. The city's architecture is a tale of contrast. In Old Town, ancient buildings soar up to 14 stories high, medieval skyscrapers of dark stone. In New Town, rows of golden sandstone homes stand with neat facades, colourful doors, and a timeless charm that feels like a living postcard. But to truly grasp the spirit of Edinburgh, you must climb Arthur's Seat, a dormant volcano rising 251 metres above the city. From its summit, the capital spreads out below you like a painting, with the North Sea shimmering in the distance. This might just be the most breathtaking view in all of Scotland. Glencoe, Scotland's valley of shadows and silence. Imagine a valley where time feels frozen in the 13th century. Glencoe stretches before you like a scar on the earth, etched by glaciers steeped in blood and legend. It was here, in 1692, that one of Scotland's darkest moments unfolded, the infamous Glencoe massacre. The Campbells, accepted as guests by the MacDonalds, turned on their hosts, violating the sacred code of Highland hospitality in an act of betrayal. But Glencoe is more than tragedy. Its towering peaks, the Three Sisters, stand like stone sentinels guarding the valley. Every bend in the road unveils another breathtaking view, waterfalls tumbling from sheer cliffs, summer heather painting the hills purple, and lochs that reflect skies that never sit still. And then the mist rolls in, slipping down from the peaks and cloaking the valley in silence. In that moment, you understand why Glencoe has inspired both legends and nightmares. This isn't just a destination, it's a place where you walk through history and feel it breathe. Glasgow, the reinvented soul of Scotland. Forget everything you think you know about Glasgow. This is no longer the grey, industrial city of the past. Today, Glasgow pulses with energy, reinvention, and art. On its streets, you'll hear the echoes of legendary bands and feel the heartbeat of creativity. Murals explode with colour, transforming the city into an open-air gallery. St Mungo's Cathedral has stood for nearly 800 years, its Gothic towers reaching for the heavens. Not far away lies the Victorian necropolis perched on a hill, a city of the dead telling tales of Glasgow's merchant kings and industrial past. But Glasgow's true character shines in the West End. Here, vintage markets buzz with life, historic pubs overflow with music and stories, and the Gothic halls of the University of Glasgow, where Adam Smith once studied, stand like a castle of intellect. And then there's the River Clyde, once the engine of shipbuilding and home to the construction of the Titanic. Today, it reflects modern marvels of glass and steel. Glasgow has transformed itself, modern, creative, alive, yet it still carries the soul of its hard-working roots. Stirling, the heart of Scotland's spirit. On a volcanic outcrop rising above the plains stands Stirling Castle, the birthplace of Mary Stuart, Scotland's tragic queen. Stirling was once known as the key to Scotland, for whoever controlled this city held the passage between Highlands and Lowlands. From its ramparts, your eyes stretch out over Bannockburn, the battlefield where, in 1314, the Scots claimed a decisive victory over England and secured their independence. Nearby the church of the Holy Rood stands solemn and strong, its Gothic walls whispering stories of centuries past. In the cemetery outside lie generations of Scots who once served the crown. But dominating the skyline is the Wallace Monument, 67 metres tall, a towering tribute to William Wallace, the national hero who led the resistance against English rule in the 13th century. From its summit, the view opens to the first peaks of the Highlands. Stirling isn't just history, it's the heart of Scotland's fighting spirit, a city where every stone breathes freedom, spoken in the proud voice of generations. St Andrews, where Scotland's soul whispers. The salty tang of the North Sea drifts through the air, mingling with the ghostly presence of ancient ruins. Welcome to St Andrews, a coastal town where Gothic grandeur meets academic tradition, and where the soul of Scotland quietly resides. Once the religious heart of the country, the cathedral ruins still rise proudly, even in their decay. Once Scotland's largest cathedral, it was shattered in 1559 by Protestant reformers, but its stones still echo with the stories of pilgrims and saints. Just nearby stands the University of St Andrews, Scotland's oldest, founded in 1413. Students in red robes stroll the cobblestone lanes, keeping alive centuries of learning and tradition. But St Andrews holds yet another legacy. It's the birthplace of golf. The old course, sculpted by the sea wind, is the most iconic golf course on earth. It all began here in the 15th century. Every golfer dreams of walking its storied fairways. Even fairy tales come here to breathe. Prince William and Kate Middleton met right here, adding a royal chapter to this city's rich tapestry. Eilean Donan Castle, Scotland's stone poem. On a rocky islet where three lochs meet, stands the most photographed castle in all of Scotland, Eilean Donan. It seems to float on water, connected to the mainland by a stone bridge that vanishes and reappears with the tide. Built in the 13th century to defend against Viking invasions, the castle has lived through sieges, betrayals, and destruction. In 1719, after sheltering Spanish rebels, it was bombarded and reduced to rubble. For nearly 2 centuries, it remained in ruins. Then a descendant of Clan MacRae, a lieutenant colonel, brought it back to life. Stone by stone, he rebuilt it according to the original plans. Today, Eilean Donan is a masterpiece. It has starred in films, but no camera can capture what happens here at dusk. Northern lights sometimes dance above its towers. Morning fog wraps it in mystery. And when the sun sets, the loch turns gold and the castle becomes a poem written in stone. Eilean Donan is Scotland, pure, poetic, and eternal. Cairngorms National Park, Scotland's last great wilderness. Now picture this. A wild expanse the size of Luxembourg, where you can walk for days without seeing another soul. Welcome to the Cairngorms, the last great wilderness of Scotland. This subarctic plateau shelters life forms that vanished elsewhere long ago. Lynx, wildcats, and soaring sea eagles still roam here. Four of Scotland's 5 highest peaks call this place home, including Cairngorms itself, the mountain that gives the park its name. Glaciers shaped this land over millennia. Hidden within are ancient corries, where snow lingers well into summer. Here grow the Caledonian pines, survivors of Scotland's original forest. Their branches shelter red squirrels, deer, and a world untouched by time. But it's the animals that make this place truly magical. Reindeer, reintroduced in the 1950s, now graze freely as they did during the Ice Age. And on moonless nights, they say you might still hear echoes, the haunting howl of ghost wolves, long extinct but never forgotten. Because these mountains remember, they remember everything. Glenfinnan Viaduct, Scotland's real-life wizardry. Stone arches sweep across the valley in a graceful curve, spanning 380 metres of breathtaking Highland scenery. This is the Glenfinnan Viaduct, the crown jewel of the West Highland Line, one of the most stunning train journeys in the world. Stretching 264 kilometres, the railway winds through the untamed beauty of the Scottish Highlands. Completed in 1901, it was a marvel of Victorian engineering. Transforming a rugged, impassable wilderness into a corridor of awe-inspiring travel. Engineers faced swamps, mountains and lochs, building this masterpiece with nothing but local stone, sand and cement, crafting a structure that feels like it was always part of the land. Glenfinnan is also etched into pop culture, made iconic by the Hogwarts Express scenes from Harry Potter. The steam train crossing the viaduct offers a cinematic moment where history and fantasy blur. Beneath its arches, Loch Shiel stretches toward the horizon, while all around, the Highland peaks fade into mists like a dream dissolving at dawn. Inverness, gateway to the Highlands. Welcome to Inverness, the heart of the Highlands. It's where northern Scots come to shop, where tourists launch their adventures to Loch Ness. where the modern blends seamlessly with the ancient. The River Ness flows right through the city centre, creating a calm, almost continental charm. Along its banks you'll find gourmet restaurants, artisan shops, and a rhythm that feels both timeless and current. Perched on a hill, Inverness Castle watches over it all. Built in 1836, it's relatively young, but it sits atop centuries of history. From here, roads radiate out like stories, leading to islands, battlefields, and hidden castles where Scotland's fate was shaped. Inverness isn't just a stop on the map, it's a starting line. But it's also a place to pause, breathe in the Highland air, and feel what it means to be Scottish in the 21st century. Isle of Mull, Scotland's untamed gem. Mull greets you with the scent of seaweed and the cries of gulls overhead. Just a 40-minute ferry ride from the mainland, this island is a condensed version of wild, unfiltered Scotland. Its rugged coastline hides secret coves where grey seals lounge on rocks under the sun. Inland, sea eagles with wingspans wider than a man's height glide over glacial lochs, searching for salmon. Tobermory, the island's main port, is a splash of colour. Bright houses in pink, blue, yellow and green, reflecting in the water like a painting come to life. The view even inspired a beloved children's TV series. But Mull's real treasure lies just offshore, on the island of Iona. In 563 AD, St. Columba founded a monastery here that became a beacon of Celtic Christianity. 48 Scottish kings are buried in its sacred soil. Yet Mull's wild heart beats strongest in its hills, where red deer, wildcats and pine martens still roam. For nature lovers, Mull isn't just a destination, it's a dream. Dunnottar Castle, fortress of stone and storm. Perched on a cliff 50 metres above the crashing Atlantic, Dunnottar Castle defies gravity and time. It rises as if grown from the rock itself, a perfect fusion of nature and human ambition. Reaching it means descending a steep coastal path, but every step is a journey back through 1,400 years of Scottish history. Here, the Scottish crown jewels were hidden from Cromwell's forces. Here, William Wallace achieved one of his earliest victories. Though now a ruin, Dunnottar is a ruin of legend. Its walls cling to the cliffside, creating a silhouette that steals your breath. And when the storm rolls in and waves pound the rocks, their spray reaching the highest towers, you feel as though the castle is alive, roaring with the sea. Orkney Islands. 70 windswept islands lie scattered to the north, where Scotland meets the edge of time. The Orkney Islands hold the best preserved Neolithic ruins in all of Europe. Places like Skye, a 5,000-year-old stone village where you can still walk through homes with stone beds and hearths. Then there's the Ring of Brodgar, an ancient stone circle standing tall in the heather, echoing forgotten rituals and cosmic alignments. It's staggering to think these monuments have survived 5 millennia of Atlantic storms. But the Orkneys aren't just about history, they're alive with wildlife. Their waters are a sanctuary for seals, whales, orcas, and millions of seabirds nesting on dramatic cliffs. And the wind, it never stops. Islanders have turned it into power, producing more renewable energy than they use, and sending the rest to the Scottish mainland. Outro, Scotland is waiting. And so ends our journey through Scotland, a land where history breathes through castle walls, where locks reflect legends, and where every stone whispers stories from another time. From the Highland peaks to whiskey-soaked isles, from bustling cities to forgotten shores, this is not just a country, it's a world of its own. We hope these stories and images stirred something within you. A sense of wonder, a spark of curiosity, and maybe the urge to go to feel the wind on your face. Hear the bagpipes in the distance and walk where myths are born.